Here
When's
we
this going
go.
to air? You put this on YouTube afterwards?
Yes, sir.
So it'll be up probably tomorrow or a couple days?
No, actually, it'll be this evening.
Oh, sweet.
Hello, everybody. Spidey here once again. Coming Soon podcast coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. Of course, with my guest, Joe Bizarro, my man. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing really good, Mario. Thanks for having me. This is
No,
already
man, thank you, man. I know we had a hiccup yesterday, and I told you, man. I mean, I was gonna ask you. You can't be from Texas, dude, because I've known just about everybody that's hurting from the cedar. And yesterday, I passed out like around 4 p.m., which I'm an old man. I usually go to sleep by 8:39, but man, it was a cedar that got me, man. So my apologies, brother. But I'm glad we're
Cedar
doing this.
Fever. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Cedar Fever.
But man, bro. But of course, I was gonna ask you because we were talking a little bit before we jumped on, and when it comes to you being here in Texas, because you did film here in Texas, you're not originally from Texas. So tell us where do you come from, bro? Where are you at?
I'm currently in Cleveland, Ohio again. This is my birthplace. So I was born and raised here. In my 20s, I moved out to Los Angeles and was out there for quite a while, about maybe 13 years or so. That's where I did Brides in another movie called The World is a Beautiful Place, and I'm Not Afraid to Die. And then after a little time in Los Angeles, I relocated to Texas, Austin specifically, but I spent some time in Houston and did some jobs in San Antonio. And I've also done some work and quite a bit of work in New Orleans and some work in New York. But now I'm back in my home city for the time being, and yeah, this is where I'm at. It's weird because we talked before we got on there, and I told you all about Cinema Wasteland, and we had this really candid conversation, and now it's like, now that I'm retelling it, it's a little more robotic.
No, I hear you, man, and I do thank you for jumping on here, man. I know when it comes to your traveling, I gotta ask you. I mean, as a kid, I mean, did you guys used to travel a lot, or is that just something that happened once you got old enough and said, you know what, let me hit the road?
Yeah, no, I worked in the film industry in Cleveland, kind of right out of college. While I was in college, the first movie I actually worked on was called American Splendor, and it was about
a couple days.
This comic book artist who was a native here, and I was like a PA on that. It was with Paul Giamatti played the main character, Harvey Picard. And so that was really cool. That was like my first taste of anything doing that. And I did a lot of PA work, and I worked for a casting agency, and then I started working for a commercial company, and I started working as an assistant cameraman. And I started really just getting my hands in anything that I could get my hands in here. So I was like doing assistant director work. I was doing music videos. I was working with casting directors. I was working with this commercial team. And I knew pretty much everyone in town, and everybody kind of knows everybody. I don't know what it's like these days, but back then it was a very small, tight-knit community. And at one point you just realize that there's nowhere else to go, and there's kind of nothing else to do. You've kind of met everyone, and your options kind of you're in a smaller town, you have a few less options. And so that was when I moved to Los Angeles. And that was where, I mean, when I got there, it was crazy because I had a job doing like legal videography, and I hated it. It was so super boring and super just lame, and I hated it, and I wanted to quit it so bad. And like the day I quit / maybe got fired, a friend calls me and he says, "Hey, do you want to move? You want a PA for the day?" And I'm like, "What am I doing? Just whatever, getting coffee?" He goes, "No, we just have to move office furniture." And so I showed up to move office furniture for just one day, just thinking nothing's going to happen to this. And I get there, and they see my resume back in Cleveland, and they said, "Oh, we see you did some AD work, this, that, and the other." And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "Do you want to not do any PA work and just join the AD department?" And I literally just showed up and was an assistant director now on a bunch of reality shows, which really kind of got my foot in the door, learning even more, which led me further down a path to becoming a director of photography and doing a lot of other things. But Los Angeles was really good to me when I got there, and it was almost like a dream come true how quickly my career just blossomed, or my options just expanded. And so, yeah, LA was a really good city to me. I don't know if I really want to be there right now, but I had a good time.
Man, and of course, I mean, when it came to you starting off, I mean, like you said in your hometown, I mean, you were doing a little bit of everything. Did you already know, like you know what, I want to write, I want to be a director, or were you just getting your feet wet, trying to see where you fit in?
I was just getting my feet wet because I feel like, when you ask somebody what they want to do and
Yeah,
their first answer is always, I want to direct. It's kind of a cliche thing. And, everybody wants to direct. Everybody wants their voice heard and to be an artist, but you got to learn all this stuff. And the more you can learn on all the sets, the more roles you can play and hats you can wear,
yeah.
the better off your production's going to be, especially in this really independent, low budget, small micro budget world.
No, no, for sure, man. And I mean, well, let me ask you that. I mean, when it comes to your title now, because of course you put, writer, director, and local weirdo, man. So, I mean, do you? I mean, is that what it is now? I mean, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm a writer, director. I'm a filmmaker. I mean, is that your? I mean, or are you still
Yeah,
looking into other features?
I was just kind of goofing around. I almost write a preservationalist of the weird, and then it took me a minute. And I wasn't sure if I was being filmed either. Like, oh, he's live. Oh, he's doing this. I was making jokes.
No, no, no. You're good.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, I've done 3 movies as a writer, producer, director, 3 features, which is Brides, The World is a Beautiful Place, and now Curse of the Baby Eater. And I have a co-collaborator who also kind of came up with me in the Cleveland scene. He's also from here, and he's currently in Texas. His name is Noel Maitland, and super great guy, very incredible director of photography. And he was out here with me. He was in Los Angeles. He's in Texas now. But it's funny because when we were in LA, at one point we were living in this building called Barbara's Brewery, and it was an abandoned PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon factory. It's where they shot some scenes from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was really cool. It was cool walking around there, and you feel like you're in this dystopian place. And there's all these like burners that live there, and they make art for Burning Man. And it was just this like really strange but fun place to live for a while. And him and I were in buildings right next door to each other. And he was struggling, man. He was doing every music video you could think of. He was doing, he did music for videos for Wu-Tang Clan, for Maroon 5, for Gucci Mane, I think. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Very, 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 very talented guy. And was kind of struggling because LA is just so hard, and like it's hard to make money in certain things. And then as soon as he got to Texas, it's like his career exploded. Now he's doing like Best Boy work and G&E work, and I don't even know exactly what he really even does, but he's working for Rodriguez, and he's working for all the Ben Affleck movie that came into town, and Yellowstone, the new Yellowstone thing that's out there. And now he's just like sitting back, loving his life because he's like not struggling anymore. So sometimes you actually like, I don't know, you fall into a better place by accident, even when you're not expecting it. And but yeah, so all 3 of my films, I just wanted to say right out in the open, have been collaborative efforts with my close friend Noel Maitland, who is a co-writer, co-producer, co-editor. He basically kind of shoots and lights it, and I do a lot of the other kind of behind the scenes things.
No, no, well, that's good. That's great when you have somebody like that. I mean, especially with you guys. I'm sure you guys bonded when you guys were out there in LA, living next door to each other. I mean, was it that you guys used to pitch a lot of ideas back and forth? I mean, was that sort of like the collaboration as well?
Well, we also had a really fun project that we did before Brides of Satan. We spent almost 3 years on that. And it was called Alphys, the roller skating scientist whose accidental interdimensional escapades landed him in a weird, wild world of wicked women and monstrous monsters. That was the title, or short was Alphys TRSS. And it was basically this pitch about this roller skating. We had met this Kenyan man fella named Alphys Imani, and he had just gotten to the States. This was in LA. And I met him at a house party. He was dressed up like a pirate. And I just said, man, this guy's got a good look. And I said, are you an actor? And he said, no. He said, are you a director? And I said, maybe. And we convinced this person to be in this movie, and we made this very bizarre, almost Cartoon Network 23-minute pilot, which was like people in a cartoon. It was about this guy who he wants to be a roller skater, but he invents this serum that sends him into another dimension where all the men are extinct, and there's like lizards and alligator people running around, and an evil queen, and story of love, and he's got an evil arch nemesis. And so we worked on that 23-minute short that we pitched for years afterwards. I would say that took up a solid 5 to 6 years of our lives.
Damn.
Just that one little tiny project. And we had a lot of meetings, and we had a lot of really potential cool things happen. At one point we had a meeting with Stan Lee's company of Marvel Comics. He had an off company called POW Entertainment, and they took a meeting with us. They were very interested. We had lunch with them, I think, on several occasions. And just being in that office and then being like, here's some free Spider-Man comic books was cool. It felt like a win, but ultimately that never went anywhere. It's still sitting around. It still is a great IP. But you know, we've pitched a bunch of things, and that was definitely one of them. That was something we worked really hard on before we even tried to make our first feature.
Man, and is that movie still a possibility, or is that you guys already just put it on the shelf?
At one point, I think we put it on YouTube for a little while and kind of like let it out. But, you know, unless you have a ton of subscribers, or it's even more difficult now with the algorithm, it can so easily not be seen. So it's just been kind of sitting in the background. It might still even be on the internet available. I mean, I know I have a password for it, but yeah, it's just been sitting on the shelf. And it's a shame because the IP of it is so great. The characters are so rich. It's diverse. It's got that lead is an African-American male, and it's got all of these different fun characters that are just colorful and interesting, and like a ton of female heroic leads, which is a big theme in some of my work, like Brides of Satan. But it's a shame because it would be it's such a cool IP. It could really have like very broad potential, and it's got like a Land of the Lost, Doctor Who kind of like. That very Land of the Lost is a good example. That very Sid and Marty Krofft, 1960s, maybe was it, kind of sci-fi hijinks. So yeah, it's funny too because that pilot, it had the comedian Jim Jeffries, the Australian comic. He narrates it. Another comic named Eddie Ift was in it. I'd like to give a shout out to my old friend Ernie Hurtado for hooking all that up. Also, we had a young lady in it named, what was her name? Oh, geez, can't think of it now. She ended up being in a whole bunch of stuff. The Magicians, Olivia Taylor Dudley. She became a big character in The Magicians. She was in that, drawing a blank on that other film too that had just come out. That was the YouTube star. But, you know, a lot of the actors that were in that pilot at the time, I'm not saying they didn't like have big careers, but later on, a lot of them took off. And so it's cool to see that kind of stuff. People that you worked with when you were just doing things for free, and now they're on TV.
No, yeah, because I mean, I was going to ask you. I mean, from your film, you know, Curse of the Baby Eater, and then the whole Super Bowl thing. I know you posted about this. You know, one of your actors that was in the film was actually made it to a commercial, right?
Yeah, Christopher Collar of I hope I said his name right. He lives in Chicago. I actually looked up his IMDb the other day, and I was like, there's no way this is real. The guy had a really long credit sheet, but Chris was great. He did so much to help us out on that film. He played Old Crazy Willie, who's like like one of the sages that'll kind of help you to get to the Wizard of Oz at the end of the rainbow. And when you watch the movie, he's got this wandering eye. And Chris did the VFX for that, which was great. He did a great job on that. In fact, I remember him saying, "Can I do a wandering eye?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't think it's going to look good. I don't think so, man. I don't think so." And he's like, "Just let me try it." And he sent it back, and I was like, "I can't believe how great this looks."
Nice.
So So props to Chris on the special effects, and he did like the severed head that you see in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, he did a lot of those like little things for us. Added the flies buzzing around Mike's head. So Chris is a great guy. He really brought a lot to that role. You know, he's walking around in a robe all day and, you know, hillbilly teeth in his mouth. So we were really lucky to have him. And yeah, congrats to him on his Super Bowl commercial, because that's pretty awesome when you see somebody independent in front of however many people, 14 million people.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot more people watched or waiting on the commercials rather than the game after a while, man. So I'm sure everybody was watching, man. And of course, I have this photo up, and this is going to be for the Blu-ray, of course. You know, this is Curse of the Baby Eater. And on this, I mean, where is this available? Where can people grab this?
So luckily, I'm glad we teamed up with this company called Future Video, and they're here in Ohio, maybe Akron. It's this really great guy named Matt. I met him at a HorrorCon. I met him at Cinema Wasteland. He's always got a table, and I was just chat with him. And so we didn't have the best experience with our last distributor, and so I was glad to go with him. And so we put Future Video is the company. I believe the website is Future Video TV. It's, you got to Google that one, but we put it out on DVD and Blu-ray through Future Video, and it's also available on VHS, which we did a limited run of through a company called Big Cartel. And I think if you type in like Trash Cult Films Big Cartel, then you can buy the VHS. We made 100 VHS copies that are hand signed and written, and that's like the only batch that's ever going to be made, and that's probably it. So that's kind of fun and exciting to almost a little bit backwards to make your first release a VHS tape instead of streaming, but that's what we wanted to do.
No, yeah, and I mean, of course, I'm a fan of physical media. You know, I still got DVDs, I still got VHS. I do not have a Blu-ray player though. I have like 2 movies that I was actually I had like a small cameo in, so I bought them because they were only released in Blu-ray, but I haven't seen them yet. You know, I mean, I've seen the movies, but not the Blu-ray. So one day.
Yeah, you buy like a PlayStation 4 or something. That's how I do it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, because I know back in the day, I think the PlayStation used to show movies, right? So this is the 4 now.
You play the CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays on a PlayStation 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That gives me an excuse to buy a PlayStation, man.
There you go, man. Yeah.
And bro, and of course, and let me ask you, I mean, because when it comes to filmmaking, I mean, I see all these buttons and all this stuff on your jacket there, man. What kind of music did you listen to, or what kind of music inspires you to keep writing and filming?
The music that I kind of listen to personally, and then the music that I kind of listen to as Joe Bizarro are kind of 2 different things. Okay. But I like a lot of the Joe Bizarro stuff that I like is stuff like, like The Cramps is always a good classic, or I like to listen to a lot of old surf music like The Ventures or early Link Ray. That's always really fun. Stuff like the Ghastly Ones. That's stuff I usually write to. I will a lot of times lock into a specific soundtrack or even sometimes a song when I'm writing a script, and I will just listen to that music over and over and over and over and over again. If it's something that kind of gets me in the headspace of the characters and the environment where I want to be. In fact, the last thing I wrote was called, it's working title. It's called It Came From Beyond, or It Came From Beyond Planet X. And I listened to a couple of songs by Link Ray that I would just put on repeat and just listen to over and over again while I wrote. We had another script called Ceremony of the Witch, and I listened to this group. It was like a doom metal thing called King Woman, and really slow, dark, brooding, moody, female-fronted doom metal. And I just listened to that record over and over and over again. I probably listened to it 300 times. It's the only thing I would listen to while I was writing that script. So that actually is a great question, because that's a real thing. When I was originally writing Brides of Satan, many years ago, there was a song called Nightmare by Artie Shaw. It's like a song from the 1940s, maybe 20s. and it's like an old swing song, and you'll hear it in commercials or American Horror Story. But I would just listen to that song. Every time I would play Nightmare by Artie Shaw, I could just see the characters in my head.
Yeah.
You know, I could just see them walking or driving or whatever. So I think music, if you use it correctly, it can be a really helpful tool for creativity.
No, yeah. I mean, but, I mean, I grew up, listening to 80s punk rock. I mean, I still do, I still listen to 80s, 90s. I mean, when it comes to my forte, I mean, I grew up here in the scene listening to punk rock music, and I was going to Austin, going to Houston, Dallas, Corpus, just following these bands. But I always thought for me, it kind of fit like the movies that I grew up with, because of course, like Return of the Living Dead for one of them, it's like the background that I'm watching the movie and I'm like, hey, I know that song, or hey, I know, and it just kind of made me like the film even more. But just the
Yeah,
attitude, everything.
that song from Return of the Living Dead is Party Time, is by 45 Grave.
Yeah.
And I actually had the pleasure, outside of my Joe Bizarro career, another project that I've been a part of, I got to work with Paul Rossler, who was the keyboard player for 45 Grave. So coincidentally, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know one of those people involved in that. Which it's always a fun. It's always, they always say never meet your heroes, but the few heroes that I've gotten to meet, at least in the punk rock scene, have always been really beautiful people and really generous and kind. So
Nice.
Greg Hetson was another one of them from the Circle Jerks.
Yeah.
I got to work quite a bit in Los Angeles, and he was just a really great guy. Super nice guy.
And I actually had a zine running in the early 90s. And I mean, I traveled, interviewing bands from all over the US, all over the world. I was, via snail mail, would write letters to these people, right? I mean, before the internet.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh yeah, dude. And I had pen pals, man. Back when we had pen pals, I told people I was messaging people in Germany and freaking Spain. I mean, and my zine, I started working with a lot of the record labels, so they would send me like music to sell, and I would go to the shows and sell them out of trunk, But because of that, I got in good with a lot of the music labels. A lot of them were in bands, they were band members, and they're like, man, like, I'll get you so and so for an interview, and I'm like, heck yeah, dude. So I mean, it was a cool thing, man. And I mean, I just fell in love with it. And the fact that I enjoyed the music and everything just kind of made sense, But, I mean, the same thing with movies,
It's really amazing how much you can kind of collaborate with someone sometimes just based on a common interest. Like I was very lucky for both of them, two of my movies now, to have a composer named Jimmy C. He did this 2 soundtracks, one for Brides and one for Baby Eater. You can listen to him on Spotify. And I think it's cool to have a music soundtrack available for a movie. That's a very 90s thing to do,
Oh yeah.
And he's in I think, I don't want to say the wrong place, Melbourne or Sydney, but he's in Australia. And we're virtual pen pals. I've never met him. We've talked many, many times, just like you and I are now. And he's made some great music for our films, like just fantastic. Any challenge that we give him, we say, hey, please play this song that sounds like Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass, and he comes back with something that's just like it, but is on style. So it's really cool when you reach out to someone, especially internationally, and they're on your vibe or they're on your level, or they fuck with you, and you can collaborate. I mean, it's just such a cool thing. I've been very blessed to meet quite a few people like that. Mike Dempsey, MH Dempsey from Baby Eater was another example. I didn't know him before we made this film.
Okay, yeah. I've actually met the guy out there, man. Actually, in another film, but cool dude, man. Definitely character, man. So I definitely enjoyed being around him, and I didn't get to work with him on that film that we were in at that time, but I did follow him in his band, of course.
Was it Bud? Was it called Bud?
No, those I met those individuals as well, but it was for a group in Waco. We were out there in Waco filming.
Were you guys knights? Was it the one where he's dressed up like a knight?
No, I think on this one, I think I know for the scene that I was in, they were playing. The band was there and they were playing live. No sound.
Oh, his band. They were recording. His band was in it. Rebel
Yeah, but not in that night one though. This was Killer Cox from I just plugged him in real quick because I got my hat in the other day, man.
Oh, that one. Okay, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, the guys out there in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, Mike's a great guy. He's really a great guy, and I hope to see him do more stuff because You know, obviously he toyed around in a couple little things before he did this.
Yeah.
I don't know if Killer Cox was before or after we shot, but I want to say we were like one of his first major experiences where he was like a lead role. I mean, he plays the main character. And for a non-actor who never had any training and who really just kind of fucked around in a music video here or there, you know,
Yeah.
he was stellar. I think it shows in his performance. I think his character is so colorful and like perfect, like on screen. And yeah, man, Mike Dempsey just fucking kicked ass in Baby Eater.
No, and I was gonna say, I think him, being in the band, I think helped. Having to entertain in front of people and having to do, be out there in character. So, yeah, I mean, I can see where that definitely, But yeah, man, I mean, the film itself, I'm definitely. I didn't know you guys were having it drop on VHS because I'll probably grab that one. I was gonna say, if not,
Yeah,
I
I think
definitely get
it's
that PlayStation 4.
price around $20, and you're in Texas, so I don't think it's super expensive. And it's just kind of fun to watch it on VHS. There's some kind
Oh
of
yeah,
quality about it. Like the sound mix sounds like shit. The music sounds too loud. There's something just off about it, but like I enjoyed it. As soon as I got the tape, I popped it in, and I had to figure out how to convert the VHS player to like my new TV. So I got a big 80-inch TV, and I'm like, how do I? Yeah, I eventually got it. Took a little while, but it's cool, man. It was fun.
no, yeah, and I was gonna say, I mean, the fact that the sound doesn't sound, it doesn't sound well, or you're saying it goes off a little bit. That's all '80s right there, anyway. It's nostalgic, bro.
Yeah, I know everybody loves the VHS tape when it waves out and it gets all the noise and the
Oh
distortion
yeah.
and the fuzz, and it's
It's just
just
like when
something.
I tell people I have a turntable, and every time I put my record on, they're like, "Dude, you can listen to it on video," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you get all that static noise." I said, "I love that."
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
makes it even better, bro.
I
But
agree.
man, of course, when you were in Austin or you were in Texas, were you out here just to film, or were you actually living out here for a while?
It's funny because right when we started production on the movie was like the same month or so that I had left town. So it was conveniently terrible. I had to fly back every time. And we shot
Dang.
the film. It was about, I think, 75 minutes or so. It's a shorter feature, but it's longer than an hour, which I appreciate. Um, we shot it, I think, in 5 or 6 days, maybe 7 days. It wasn't a lot of time. It was real quick. So maybe it was 3 days at a time. Maybe it was 9 days. And so I had made three separate trips where like months would go by. We would shoot 3 days and then save up a little money and figure it out, shoot 3 more days. Um, yeah, it was a very painstaking process. Independent
Wow.
movies are hard.
No, no, yeah.
But
I mean, especially.
everybody else was in Texas though, for the most part. We had Christopher Collar, who we talked about. He came from out from Chicago on like a bus or train. I think he took the train. And then we had Lisa Lee, who played the mom, Betty, and she came from LA, and she's been in a ton of stuff. She was in like the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. I like to,
Nice, bro.
tease that. I don't know if it was the Squeakquel, but anyways, everybody else was from Austin, so it was all local.
No, no, for sure, man. And of course, like you said, because I think one of the biggest issues that indie filmmakers kind of battle with is the cast, getting everybody together, making sure that everybody's available on the same day, same, because you get more than five people, man, you're scrambling.
Oh, and when you're not paying people a whole lot or hardly at all, it's even
Yeah,
harder because everyone's got jobs and priorities, and you got to pay the rent first. So you know we weren't able to pay every single person that was in the film. We paid a few, but it's hard to even do that. So you got to get people who want to be on board because they like your project and it's something they want to put their time into. In fact, we ended up shooting the very last final scene of the movie was the very first thing that we shot. We got the hardest sequence done first because we knew we wouldn't be able to bring all these people back. And I'm not sure if you've seen the movie or not, but without spoiling too much, it kind of has like a Billy Madison ending where there are all these characters kind of littered throughout the journey of these folk heroes. And at the end, they kind of all come together in a strange way. You see them all in the same place, and they have this
Oh, nice.
kind of like wedding at the end, and there's this magnificent ending. And so it's like in Billy Madison, where like the Penguin's making out with Chris Farley, and the lunch ladies over here with you know, the kid who peed his pants, and
Yeah.
kind of ripped off that kind of vibe. But it's funny. It's a fun. It makes for a fun ending, and but yeah, we had to get like almost every character that was in the film, with a few exceptions, and then stage them all at this giant event. So we shot the hardest thing first, and it was not easy. It was hot. It's hot out there in
And I
Texas
was
in the
gonna
summer.
say, when did you guys start shooting? Because Texas, like right now, is starting to warm up. So I can only
I can't
imagine.
even remember the exact month that we started, but I remember at one point towards the end, we had to force our call time to like 5 a.m. because we had to be done by like 1 o'clock because it
Yeah.
got so hot. It was like over 110 degrees, and it was just impossible. So that actually posed a big challenge too, because we were trying to finish the movie, and we had to make this super early call time. And of course, people are late and don't show up, or you know, throw
Yeah.
a wrench in your production, which happened. But yeah, it's hard. It's demanding. It gets hot. There's a scene with Christopher Collar where they're sitting by the fire, and the guys walk up, and he says, "If you want to go to the baby eater, I can show you the way." And man, it must have been 115 degrees that day, because we were
Yeah.
doing like the take, and then everybody was like running into the shade. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. Like, I don't recommend it, but sometimes it's timing is just everything.
Yeah. No, no, and I was gonna say too, because I know, I mean, here in Texas, I've shot a few times outside, and it's like freaking brutal, man. Like you're trying not to, you know, make it seem like
Die.
it's hot, but you're freaking dying. You know, it's sweating and just. But yeah,
And then you
man,
got
that's a cool.
a plane that flies by, or you got some bird or something that ruins your take. There's always something there that's happening. And then the funny thing is like, you know, you go and you got to get the best take without the bird or without the car. You take all that stuff out, and then when you do the post production, you put it all back in.
Yeah.
You put the bird back in there in the background. You put the low hum of I put a lawnmower everywhere in this movie. I thought it was funny.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny because you're always trying to get the lawnmower gone. You know, you're
Yeah.
cutting for the lawnmower, and so I inserted some lawnmower sounds and some of the dialogue just because I think that's just silly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
funny.
it's a challenge.
Yeah. No, no, and of course, like you mentioned, I mean, with financing, I mean, of course, editing. Let me ask you, I mean, who was in charge of editing the film?
It was just me and my partner Noel. We cut all of the films. What usually happens is one of us will do like the initial cut, um, of beginning to end, and then we'll pass it off to the other person and say, "All right, make it better," and it usually is, and then back and forth.
Nice, nice.
Like, I'm not even really sure who cut what on this thing. We'll do that with just about everything, trailers, the film. But it's great to have a partner, you know, because you get a second set of eyes, you get a second opinion, and then you get someone who could be like, well, this isn't working. I'm going to approach it this other way, some way that you didn't think of.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful to work with him and to have a relationship with somebody like that, where we can bounce stuff off of one another. I don't know if I would be able to cut as quick. I'm not saying we cut it quick, 'cause it took a while, but it's helpful. It works.
No, and I was gonna ask too, because when it comes to when you guys finish, you know, doing the cuts and doing the edit, I mean, a lot of times there's clips that don't make the cut, you know. So was there anything that you guys had to leave out that you kind of regret?
Not a whole lot in this. In fact, not a whole lot in almost anything we've shot, just because we're shooting so fast and we're shooting so much in such a little time.
Yeah.
I remember on Brides, I think we shot like the first day we shot like 13 pages in like 7 hours or something. And it all looks really good. But like, that's a lot. Like, and
Yeah.
so when you're shooting like 15 pages in a couple of hours, you don't really have times to you don't really get a lot of extra chances, and you don't really throw much away. In fact, sometimes we're like, I wish there was more. I wish we had more, but like, nope, that's the only take we got. I remember towards the last shoot, the very last shoot that I was talking about, it was so hot that we brought in a second camera operator. So we actually would do 2 angles just to try to speed up the time because we didn't have so many takes. And so Andrew Baird came out. He's a local Austin guy, and he just did us a favor, which was really cool. And he was our second camera. And if you haven't heard that name, he just was involved as the director of photography for Shelby Oaks.
Oh, sweet, man. Damn. Okay.
Which coincidentally also, I believe the YouTuber from Shelby Oaks was originally from Ohio.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of just coincidental as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of stuff hit the cutting room floor. In fact, if anything, we'll make up extra scenes on the day or something because we're like, oh, well, we're here. Maybe they could do this, maybe they could do that, just so we could get a little more screen time into the movie.
No, for sure, man. As I say, more is always better, so get a few extra clips out there.
Great when you're editing.
And of course, when it comes to the music, I mean, you said you had the collaborator out there in Australia doing this thing, but is that also available on format? I mean, is there like a CD that's going to be released or anything like that, or is it just available on the movie itself?
That would be really cool, actually. And I'm sure that's not super hard to do these days, but yeah, I don't know. He did a really cool soundtrack for Brides of Satan as well. I mean, that one was also just blows my mind when I listen to it because the dude playing all those songs, it's one guy and he's playing guitar, drums, bass, he's singing, he mixed it, he mastered it. I mean, you just listen to like the level of musicianship that's on some of those songs. Listen to those songs. I mean, it's wild. It's really, he's quite good. He's got like a Queens of the Stone Age vibe sometimes. Sometimes he sounds like I don't know, it's all over the place. But on the new one, we had him, and we also had a couple artists. We had a friend of mine named Matt Novak, who's in a group called Medicated Robots. He did a really heavy song called The Glove. There was a kid named an artist and a writer who was in Curse, who's in a band called A Need to Be Shot, and it's like experimental noise music. There were some songs in there from him. A guy named Charles Chapman, a guy named Johnny Necro, just a bunch of people that wanted to contribute. And then we kind of, the Jimmy C took all that and put it all together and made that kind of soundtrack that you can listen to on Spotify and iTunes and Apple. I don't know if it'll ever be a physical release.
Yeah, no, that'd be pretty cool though. I mean, but that's what I was asking, because if not, I mean, I'm sure.
Do you have a CD player, Mario?
I have one in my car. Okay, I actually have one here. I have a cassette player with a CD, but I've got a CD in my 2005 Dodge Magnum, man. It came with it. I was like, oh, hell yeah. So you're talking about soundtracks. I've actually been, every time I hit up, I go to a thrift store or something, I always look for soundtracks just to grab a few and throw them in there when I'm driving, man. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, you'd probably like it. Check it out. Check those out. The Brides of Satan one is really pretty amazing, though, I gotta say. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, I can't believe someone made this music for us. Like, and then it's one person playing it. I mean, it is very expert level musicianship. Hear it for yourself.
No, man. And of course, when it comes to movies, because you are making them, but I mean, when it comes to you being at home, and what's your go-to film? Like, what is it that you just got to watch, whether it's like every weekend or once a month or whatnot?
Oh, like a guilty pleasure?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, one of my favorite guilty pleasure, kind of like, I'll probably watch it once a year, is The Lost Boys. That's a pretty perfect movie from beginning to ending. Has everything, a little bit of everything. It's got comedy, it's got horror, it's got suspense, spills and chills and pills. Big fan of that one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the classics, one of the best all time. Great horror movies. I think The Exorcist is one of the best up there. It's random and rare lately to see something that really gets my attention and that I really enjoy. I thought Weapons was okay. It was pretty decent. It had some cool conceptual things about it that were different and unique. But I haven't seen anything that's really flipped my lid. I really enjoyed Begonia as well. I don't know if you've seen that one yet, but
Yes, yes, I'll agree with that
by,
one.
that was probably my favorite movie of the year. That was
Sweet, man. And of course, I mean, I know we have I mean, there's a few that are dropping already, but I mean, Scream 7's coming out. I mean, are you a fan of the franchise?
no, I'm not. I think it's awful. I think they should have ended it like around 3. I tried to watch that last one, and I was like, well, who's interested in these movies? But I see online, I see people get really into it with the masks and the memes and going around and collecting the popcorn buckets, and like
Oh
it
yeah.
seems like it's still got like a pretty good, like solid fan base. But I do not understand why
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like Ghostface is a cool killer, but those movies are trash,
No, and I
especially
was
the
gonna
last.
when you said 3 should have been the last one, I was gonna say 2, but yeah, I
Sure.
mean,
I mean, I was just trying to be, liberal
yeah.
about it, but
No, yeah, and I think it's marketing. I mean, Ghostface, that's like forever. Like the people that grew up. Now, for me, it was like the '80s stuff, but I mean, the people that grew up watching that one, that's their Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's their
that's
Exorcist,
a
that's
good
their
point.
so
That's a good
but
point. That's their Freddy Krueger and that's their Jason Voorhees. That's a very, very good point. That's a good point because that's probably why I don't get it.
yeah, well, yeah. I
Because
mean,
if
same
there's
here
another,
because I know I use this term called "not my horror," and I use that in a few films because I don't get a few of them, and it's because they weren't meant for me. It's the
yeah,
younger,
yeah,
whether it's the younger generation or just a different view that I just don't get, and
yeah.
I just
If
get
they made another Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger movie or Jason versus Freddy 2, we would be there like on
oh
opening
yeah,
night, right? But
be buying the popcorn bucket, man.
the Scream, yeah, for sure. But the Scream, I'm like, you can't pay me
Yeah,
to watch that shit. But I get it.
no,
That's
yeah, for sure.
well
And it's
stated.
coming out. So, like I mean, for me, I'm just glad that you guys are out there making movies, because I mean, there's like so many streams out there, man. Like I wake up watching movies, I go to sleep watching movies, and some I catch, and a lot of them I'm like, damn, I slept through it, or I have to go back and rewatch it. But I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's like one of those things. It kind of reminds me of the whole. Because I'm still a big fan of mixed martial arts, and it's like back in the day, you had to wait months for it to drop. Now it's like every weekend, which is good for the fighters because they're busy and they're making money. But like trying to catch up and keep up, it's like, damn, there's so much going on, man, that a lot of times I forget. I'm like, people are like, hey,
Yeah,
the fight's tonight, and I'm like, damn,
we get overstimulated and desensitized to how much there is too. And it's like I was saying this the other day, back in the day. I mean, with VHS, it used to take like a year for your favorite movie to come out. It would be in the theater and it would come out like 16 months later.
yeah,
Now it's like, it's out while it's still in the theater. It's out the same month that it
yeah,
drops in the theater. Any movie is out on iTunes absolutely instantly. So there's no time to wait anymore. I mean,
yeah,
the window just keeps getting shorter and shorter, and you see that decreasing kind of
oh
in our
yeah,
culture. It's just our screen society. We're always on screens, but yeah, you get inundated with all the stuff that's out there, and it's hard to watch everything, and it's like it's overwhelming, especially with like Tubi, right? So you got
oh yeah,
stations like Tubi and Plex that are now offering like all of this stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever movies you've never heard of. And
yeah.
so I have friends who have Plex servers, man, and I get a headache just scrolling through the titles. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck are these things? And where did this come from? I'm talking to you, Carlo, and Christian and Goblin. And it's
Man,
mind blowing. Like it's so cool that somebody has this collection, but it's like I can't look at all this stuff. So you end
yeah.
up sometimes just turning the TV off and being like, no, not today.
No,
So
yeah. For me nowadays, I think what I look at more, it's like the cover. Like I'm like, okay, that looks good. Like I'm gonna watch that, and then I'll watch it. But it's like if something doesn't catch my attention like that right away, like I'll watch it eventually. But I mean, so many movies coming out that, man, like I
cover
fall
art
down that
is
rabbit hole.
cover art is an art. I mean, look at it.
Yeah,
Even the new Deathstalker that just came out, which I thought was okay. It was kind of fun. It had good cover art. I mean, you get some really good art to look at, and it draws you in.
yeah.
Shout out to Steve Rice who did our art for Baby Eater and Brides.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but also now I'm even seeing. I saw something the other day. I can't believe the Asylum is still around, but the Asylum had put something out, and it was AI art, and it was like, what is that AI art? And it was like, oh, Asylum, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely AI art. Which I hope we don't see more of that, but I feel like we're going to. I'm seeing it
Yeah.
more and more as people doing it as a trend or on their Facebook profile or whatever. And it's just like, it's so soulless. It all looks exactly the same. Every character looks the same. There's nothing unique about it, and you know it when you see it. Like, yeah, it doesn't have 7 fingers anymore, or yeah, now you can see Will Smith and he can eat a bowl of spaghetti and it looks normal, but like, it's soulless, and everyone recognizes that. So I hope that we continue to, and we kind of continue the fight against shitty AI art and people who use it on their DVDs. I've got some friends who use it. I'm not going to call them out. I think it's a little corny, but also some of these people who make these films, they're churning movies out like nonstop, and they're in the game. So I respect that. I respect that that's their livelihood, and it's a tough life, man, to go to conventions nonstop and to constantly promoting your project and your film, and to be on the road all the time, and then the next thing, and then try to get money for the next thing. So, I'm not saying that we should publicly execute everyone that makes an AI poster. I don't appreciate it, but they're still working hard artists out there that have to take some shortcuts every now and then. I don't know. I don't want to sound like an AI sympathizer, but I think we're going to see it more and more, whether we like it or not.
No, yeah, and I was gonna say when you were talking about like when it first started, because the images with like 2 arms and 3 legs, and I think I liked it more back then just because it was funny. But now that you're kind of like having a second guess it and be like, man, is that real? And but it's just like the news nowadays. I don't even think that's real. So it's like I don't believe anything. I just like take it for what it is, and it's like humor.
I don't believe anything is a pretty good mantra in today's current situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, AI slop. I just, and you got the dead internet theory and all kinds of things that are just like pretty unique and for we've never seen before. So people are making like AI horror movie shorts and little things now, and I'm not looking at it, but eventually it's going to be out there. I was in a conference that I did, and they said within the next 5 years that 80% of the internet will be AI. Like, everything you see, everything that you watch, like you're not even going to see humans because they've just found some way to put an avatar in there from one of those websites, and then it talks for you and it makes your videos for you and it does your podcast. It's a sad reality, but it's possible.
No, you see, and I was gonna say too, because when it comes like I've heard people say they use it for ideas, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. As long as what they come up with later, it's actually man made, then that's great. But when it comes to like the AI music, like I've heard some of it, like it'll be on videos, and I'm like, really, man? Like you said, there's nothing to it. There's no soul. There's no feeling. And it just sounds like it sounds fake, And a lot of these images, when it comes to people using them to like promote something, like it's false. It's like it's not real. It's not, and it gets abused, just like a lot of things, And I'm sure it'll be more out there, more as the years come or the weeks, because it's moving so freaking fast. But for those that
it becomes an indicator of the quality of the work that you're probably going to show me. Like we were talking about posters, that's where this whole thing started. And like if you have a killer poster, it's going to draw you in. You're going to be like, oh, that's so cool. That looks cool. That poster has got my attention and it's going to draw me in. Now I want to see that movie. But if you make a really like low effort AI poster that a robot made, is your movie going to be low effort too?
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, sometimes the posters are really awesome and the movies are terrible.
Oh yeah.
We all know that's been a thing, but isn't that kind of part of the fun?
Yeah. For them to hook you in, and then and I'll say this. I mean, I'll sit through a movie. I mean, if it's bad and it just seems like it's going nowhere, like I'll sit through it. I'm like, you know what? Like I'll watch it. And it's like once it's done, then I'm like, never again.
What was the last bad movie that you sat through all the way?
Oh, that's a good one. There was one I was watching this morning, and it wasn't a horror movie. Actually, it was on Tubi, but it was like a gangster movie, and for some reason I couldn't find the remote, so I left it on. But it was bad. Like it was like, I don't know, man. It was just, there's no dialogue. It just seemed like it was just a run-on sentence. Like the way they were communicating, it just went forever, and I was like, damn. So I was just glad I had to go leave for work, so I didn't finish watching it. But yeah, it was a gangster movie, and it was, I don't know if it's like a run-on joke, because a lot of people, I've heard more than one person say like, "Oh, if it's bad, don't worry, you can put it on Tubi." And I'm like, "Damn, okay." I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, 'cause there's a lot of great movies on Tubi. I've been watching quite a few, but
Tons of great stuff. But yeah, it almost seems like, it's not like they should gatekeep, but it almost does seem like anybody can get on there. I'm not sure if it's as easy as it used to be. I think the rules and the way the streaming landscape is all playing out is changing from what I'm seeing on the internet. Like it's not maybe not getting harder, but it's getting to cost more money. They're starting to squeeze people. They're starting to, I know Bitmax. I had a call with Bitmax, and I don't mind exposing this. They want what is it, $2,200 to put you on a platform, and then another $500 per platform. So if I want to be on Amazon and iTunes, we're looking at close to $3,000. And if you look at, like, okay, you're going to sell that for $3, rent that for $2.99, and sell it for $6.99, $9.99. It's a lot. It's a lot of sales and rentals to just even break even.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
unless you have a giant marketing budget, or you have a giant budget for your movie with big name actors, then, if you have that already, then you probably don't need an aggregator like Bitmax. And if you need an aggregator like Bitmax for $3,000, then you probably don't have that movie, because you don't have that money. So it's getting, I think it's going to get harder for people, and maybe we'll see Tubi kind of balance out a little bit where there's not so much shit on there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and it's nice to have all those options and to have this, like, Tubi is like the cult classic Netflix, if you think about it. I mean, it's really great. I wish that they would offer a paid version of it. Like, and I'm surprised that they haven't created this yet. Like, just like Hulu, you can watch it for free in your work cafeteria, or you could pay the $10 a month and remove the ads. I'd pay to remove the ads.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely would.
Pay more money out to filmmakers too, to the aggregators and the filmmakers, and all of the companies or the distributors. So I don't know if Tubi's listening. That's what I would do. I would make an option.
We'll tag them and see what they say, man. I'm gonna post this up real quick, because I have one of my buddies, Rick Guzman, man. He's actually in a death metal band, but he said if you need death metal music band like music, let him know, man. So just putting that out there, brother.
Death metal, baby.
And of course, when it comes to traveling, man, are you gonna be staying home for a while, or are you looking at venturing somewhere else soon?
Well, that's a good question, because I was thinking of taking a break from filmmaking, actually, because it's so challenging, but I do love it. And I've been thinking about doing a movie here in Ohio, because I've never done a feature here in Ohio. So now that I'm here and I've got some connections here, I connected with this really great guy. His name's Zach. I'm not even going to try to say his last name, but he produced this movie called Meat, which just came out here in Cleveland, with a guy named Roger Connors.
I think I heard of that.
It's like I don't want to misrepresent it, but it's like a queer slasher, where it's like, it's kind of in the queer community. And it was really kind of brilliant, because not really totally my vibe, not the thing that I would run to the theater for, but I went and saw it and supported them. And it was like, it was smart. And it was like, I can't believe no one's done this. Like, we've had slasher movies since, Halloween, or whatever you want to call the Psycho, 1968. But no one's really ever done anything like that. So I met him out here. I've got another couple of friends in the industry, and some people that might want to put a little money into it. And so I think I'm going to try to make the next movie here. And it's called It Came From Beyond Planet X. And it's like, I like to describe it. It's more of a comedy than anything. It's almost like if Mel Brooks from Young Frankenstein directed Godzilla.
Oh, nice.
So it's like a slapstick kaiju movie. And I want to shoot that here in Ohio. There's this, it's called the Steelyard Commons, and it's this really like ugly industrial smokestacks. It's just horrible to look at. And I drive in and past it every day on my way to work. And every day I see this Steelyard Commons, and I just imagine like a giant kaiju just coming in and just stomping on the city and knocking down the towers and blowing flames and swatting helicopters out of the sky. So
Man,
hopefully my next film is here in Ohio, and we can bring that vision to life.
man. So let me ask you this though, because of that, is it going to be a person wearing a costume?
Probably, yeah. We want to do practical
Ooh,
effects, and we want to
yeah.
do like a lot of that. We want to do a lot of trick photography, forced perspective, all that kind of like 1960s stuff where the camera's
Oh,
low
nice.
and you do green screens and plates, and there probably would be some digital work involved and some digital VFX blended into it. But yeah, and the monster grows through the movie, so it mutates on someone as slime, and then he like attacks a bowler, and now it's got a bowling ball on its head, and each time you see it, it's bigger and larger and like just goofier and like full of garbage. I should say also really quick is that in Curse of the Baby Eater, we're technically a somewhat of a practical effects movie. The monster in that is, I don't want to give too much away about the Baby Eater, but Sergio Garez, I believe is his name, is an Austin, San Antonio guy and does a lot of horror movie makeup. And
Yeah,
so we've
I've
got a
worked with the
real
guy.
life,
Yeah.
we've got a horror life, real life monster, special effects creature feature monster. It's practical, so it's kind of a practical creature feature film. It
Nice.
also kind of teeters that like that line of cult folk horror in a sense, where
Right.
it's about like it's about a legend, and it's about this like this folk horror legend of the community. And that was a big thing for us too. It was like I really wanted to try to capture um, the feeling of where I was living at the time, which was Hyde
Yeah.
Park, Texas, which is right there in Austin, kind of right
Right.
by UT. I really love that neighborhood. It's a really cool, chill, quiet, like you know, hip neighborhood. And we really wanted to try to like show as much of Austin that we could. There was a great like coffee shop or a restaurant we would go get like brunch at on Sundays. And they let us shoot there. So we always would use the exteriors and tried to just show as much of Hyde Park as we could. So I think sometimes like you can use a location if it has charm and if it has
Yeah.
feeling about it, you can use it as a character. So I
Yeah.
think the city of Austin in that movie is a character for us.
No, no, for sure. Yeah, man. Because I've been to Austin. I mean, I've been out there in the film as well. But I mean, I used to go out there in the '90s for bands. Go check out music. And I mean, just
Yeah,
Austin itself was it's a great place, great city, man. I mean, I know it's
it's
gotten
great music.
overpopulated, but for the most
Yeah.
part, it's still pretty cool though.
I also have to real quick do a quick plug for P Lander
Yeah.
Z. Well, I'm sure you've seen P Lander Z before
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
lived in Texas. I always say that they're the greatest live band in the world because
Sweet.
their show is so fun and so contagious and just so interactive.
Yeah.
And P Lander Yellow, he does a part in the movie, which you'll get to see.
Oh, sweet.
But that guy is just great. And he goes and he does his live art all over Austin. You can see his art all over like sushi shops and restaurants and food trucks. And his style when you see it.
Yeah.
But those guys have been around for like, I think they just did a 30-year tour that they had just finished.
Oh, damn.
And
Yeah.
I can only imagine how old he is getting up there in years. So when
Yeah.
you see this guy doing what he's doing at his age, I mean, it really is a modern marvel. It's something to see. So anybody who's watching this, if you've never seen P. Landersy live, go check them out. They're so much fun. They're so entertaining. And we were really lucky to get P. Lander Yellow and Chicken Ranch Records to support this film.
No, no, for sure, man. I mean, I'm glad you guys got to film it out there, though. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to watching. Like I said, I'll probably grab a VHS just so I can put it on my wall over there and
Cool.
enjoy it. But man, I do appreciate you, brother. Thank you for jumping on here, man. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up, bro?
No, thanks for listening to my long-winded stories.
Oh, great.
I
I
start
want to hear
talking,
more.
you can't stop me. But no, it's been really a pleasure. I really appreciate what you're doing. I think it's cool. Yeah, just like send me the links and I'll put them
Yeah.
up everywhere that I can. And
No, no, sure. I definitely will,
yeah, I
man.
hope that you enjoy the film. When you get it, put a little post out, let people know it's out there. But yeah, the newest movie is Curse the Baby Eater. You can buy it on on VHS from Big Cartel. You can buy it on Blu-ray and DVD from Future Video. It stars Mike Dempsey, Jeff Brennicky, Cowboy Ben, Christopher Collar, Lisa Mason Lee, Lexi Graves, Peelander Yellow, and many, 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 many more. It's a really good time, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Thanks for having me, man. This was cool. It was fun. Sometimes I forget to promote my product, so
no. I thank you, man. But don't hang up yet, though, brother. Everybody out there, of course. Once again, Spider here, Coming Soon Podcast. As always, till next time.